Good day and welcome back to my channel. Today we're back in the dark seat. We're back in the hot seat. We're back in the blue moody seat and we are doing another Am I the Asshole? Woo! Woo! Now, do I look different to you? Because I sure look different to me. I got my hair done today. Oh my god, look how dark it is. It's so dark. Looks really nice. I had a couple inches chopped and I got it cleaned up. What do you think? What do you think? What do you think? I think I'm gonna get more rolls like this because inner Laura wants to be blonde all of the time. But as an actor, I get more roles as a brunette, like a dark brunette. So I've been kind of just a little bit moving this way. And here we are. So grab your beverage of choice. Today I just have agua because I need some water. And let's dive in. Guys, I'm going to put on these headphones. And we'll see if the audio is better. Oh yeah, should we do this? Ho ho ho. Can you hear me now? How cool are we, guys? Oh, it matches my outfit. Adorable. Okay, let's get on down. So, number one. Am I the asshole for making my daughter and her wife sleep in different rooms? Automatically, I want to say yes. I'm asking here because a friend told me to. My daughter, 31 female, her wife, 33 female, and their son, 5 male, live in a different state. I, 60 female, am always the one who goes to visit them in their house because of my daughter-in-law's busy work schedule. My daughter said she wanted to come and see me and her old friends with her family. They are currently renovating their house. They have a house in our city and usually stay there and they rarely come over. And my daughter asked me if they could stay with me. I said, of course. When they arrived, I mentioned that I had prepared each of them a different room, one for my daughter, one for my daughter-in-law, and one for my grandson. My daughter said I was being unreasonable and that she wanted to sleep in the same room as her wife. I said I made her brother and his wife do the same thing when they visited and they never complained. My daughter told my daughter-in-law to arrange for a hotel. I was really hurt by her decision and I said that I hoped she'd just stay, and it was a few days. She said she hadn't slept apart from her wife for the past 9 years and she wasn't going to start doing that now. They left and they're staying at a hotel. My daughter is still kind of cold to me and my friends think that I acted like an asshole. Was I the asshole? I think if this is like, I kind of wonder where this mother-in-law is coming from, because most of the time in situations like this, if someone has a problem with it, it's because people aren't married. These people are married, you know, like she said that she made, I like that she said that she made her son and her son's wife also sleep in separate rooms, because then I'm not thinking like she's homophobic. It's because she does the same thing to her son. So that's not it. So great. But if it's like a religious thing, it's like they're already married. They live in a house. So I'm wondering what the issue is here. Like, does she just not want her children having sex underneath her roof? Because like, that makes sense. I get that. That's an uncomfortable thought and feeling to think that your adult children are like engaging in sex with their partner under your roof. Sure, but at the same time, we're all adults here, right? You know, and when I say we, I mean these people in the story. We're all adults here. So I think, yes, you are being the asshole, because if you're not communicating enough. If the problem is you don't want your kids to be having sex under your household, say it. You know, hey guys, like, I know you're married. I understand that, and I love your wife, and this has nothing to do with me not liking your wife or you know, me not thinking that you guys shouldn't be married. I just feel really uncomfortable of the idea of you guys having relations under my roof. And I know, you know, like, that's pretty uncomfortable to talk about and think about, but you know, I'm happy to let you guys sleep in the same room. Just know that, like, that's something that makes me really uncomfortable, and I don't want to have to deal with like hearing anything. And I'm sure your daughter will be like, oh my god, yeah, for sure, mom, no problem, like, we're Puritans tonight over there, don't you worry about it. Because what else could it be? Like, if you're not homophobic, if they're married, if so it doesn't seem like it's a religious thing, is it control? It sounds like control. Like, I just want to, this is my home. This is my home and you have to do what I tell you under my roof. That's what it sounds like to me. But it could be anything, but she doesn't explain here. Let's see if she makes any. So the poster is Dry League. What a weird name. People are so funny. 3 people are typing right now. Okay, so the top comment says, why did you prepare each of them a different room? Why did you make her brother and his wife do the same thing when they visited? Why? And then the next person says, no sex in my house, probably. And then the next comment says, LOL, that can happen with any amount of rooms. That's very true. That's very true. Just because you separate people, that doesn't mean that they're not going to have sex in your house. Like, you could go to sleep and they could like sneak into each other's rooms and have sex. Interesting. That was my first thought too. I like when I read comments and I'm like, yes, I thought that too. So, parents don't think further than the bedroom. Someone says most parents act oblivious about sex when they disallow their kids' spouses to sleep in the same room, thinking, oh, that problem is solved. I can rest easily. And they forget that you can do it anywhere. This is a really interesting comment. It says, this mother isn't denying her children sex. That is easy to achieve. They're denying intimacy, holding each other, and feeling loved. That's so sad. And that's such an interesting perspective that I never thought of. But it ties into the control. So because they're in your house, if they're not getting intimacy, holding each other, feeling loved with their partner, that immediately creates a separation that maybe they'll look to you for because you want to be closer to your children, like have them go to you with their problems, have them, connect with you more. So interesting. This is a good one. Unless your reasoning is the only guest beds I have are single, so I made up 3 rooms because I didn't think you'd be comfortable squishing 2 adult humans into one tiny bed, I'm gonna have to go with you're the asshole. Oh, guys, I forgot my gavel. Let me get my gavel. All right, I got it. Ready? Judge Burke presiding. Attention. Be quiet. I have deemed this person the asshole. I think this can be fixed with communication. Why? Tell me why, and then we can have a conversation about it. I think most problems can be fixed with proper communication. Ooh, there's an asshole archives. Interesting. Assholes, not assholes. No asses here. Everyone sucks. Updates. I wonder if there's like, there's a top. Today, this week, this month. Okay, we're gonna do the top from this month because I just learning how to use Reddit. Oh no, it says everything it like has the judgments here. I don't want to look at the judgments. I'm just gonna randomly pick one of these, okay? Oh, okay. Am I the asshole for leaving when my brother-in-law wouldn't let me in the hot tub? Interesting. My brother-in-law just bought a new house. He lives about 4 hours from us. Last weekend, my husband and I went to visit him for a few days and to see the house for the first time. Long story short, I got my period while I was sleeping, and the guest bedroom sheets had a small blood stain, about the size of a quarter. My husband helped me strip the bed, and I went down to the laundry room to pre-treat and then wash the sheets. When they were done, the bloodstain was 100% gone. But when we told brother-in-law, he looked completely disgusted. He inspected the sheets super closely for a very long time, and finally I was like, Jesus, brother-in-law, if you're looking that closely and can't find a stain, can't you trust me that I got it out? He seemed really put out by the whole thing. That night, we had plans to hang out in brother-in-law's hot tub in the backyard. But after dinner, he told me that I wasn't allowed in the hot tub because of my period. I was shocked, and I explained that the nighttime leak was because I hadn't been expecting my period and had been fast asleep all night, but that it was perfectly safe and sanitary for me to put in a tampon and sit in the hot tub for an hour. But he wouldn't budge. My husband had my back and told him that he was being ridiculous and ended up turning into a big argument. Eventually, my husband and I decided to pack our stuff and stay at a nearby hotel, and then we drove home the next morning. Now, brother-in-law is pissed at us for leaving and for not respecting his home. He also Venmo requested my husband $100 for new sheets, which he's refusing to pay, but trusts that if the stain hadn't come out, we would have been happy to replace them. He told his whole side of the family, who've decided to fully stay out of it. I wish they had our backs more, but at least they're not piling onto us. So, are my husband and I the asshole for leaving and not paying for the sheets? Edit. I swore I'd never be one of those people who did this, but to all the people who say everyone sucks here or you're the asshole because of a certain risk that I won't mention here because it isn't a medical sub, I'll just say that if brother-in-law was worried about that risk for me, it would have been a different story. He didn't want me in the hot tub because period blood is gross. Edit number 2. For everyone asking why I even told him, it's because my period isn't a dirty little secret. It's a natural thing that happens to half of the adult population. And because I'm not going to sneak around like a cat burglar to do laundry. He heard the dryer buzz and asked me about it, and I told him. Edit number 3. For some more FAQs, brother-in-law has a girlfriend who doesn't live with him. She hung out with us the first night. That was the first time I'd met her, but had to work the night of the argument, and so she wasn't around. I don't know what she thinks of the whole situation, and I'm not going to reach out to her about it. And brother-in-law isn't on the spectrum. He doesn't have OCD, and he's not a germaphobe. He just thinks it's gross. Edit number 4. Wow, this really blew up. Anyways, please trust that I know my body and my flow, and on the first day of my period, I know that I can wear a tampon for a while without leaking. We FWIW. I don't know what that means. FWIW. We did go to the hotel hot tub after we checked on, and I stayed in for 90 minutes. And when I got out, there was a nary a speck of evil, dirty vagina blood on my bathing suit. That's really funny. Nary a speck of evil, dirty vagina blood on my bathing suit. I wonder if YouTube will let me say vagina. I mean, it should, right? Like, why wouldn't I be able to say vagina? But we'll see, won't we? So this person is obviously not the asshole. I think most of my viewers are probably women, and so they understand that, I mean, your period is so misunderstood by men, truly. And I think, I mean, it was even misunderstood by me for the longest time. I'm 36 years old, and I'm just really now getting a handle on it. But very often you will be surprised by your period. I don't keep track of mine. I'm not like, I will get my period in 3 days. I think the only reason I would do that was if I was tracking my ovulation because I wanted to have a child. But I'm not doing that. That's not what I'm doing. So I just I freeball it. I'm not on birth control, and so that doesn't affect me in any way. I can feel it coming on because my back hurts. So I can feel it coming on, like my back ends up hurting like a day or two before. And my boyfriend can like see it from a mile away because I'm emotional. I get really sad or hopeless or angry or irrational or whatever. PMS is a real thing, people. I'm sure you know that. Anywho, most women know the PMS signs that will show that they have their period. But your period will come by surprise a lot of the time. It literally happened to me the other day. I'm on my period right now. And the other day, I got my period by surprise and I ruined a pair of underwear. And that'll just happen, right? And the fact that she got up in the middle of the night, pre-treated the sheets, washed the sheets, and got the blood out, like, I'd probably be like, fuck that. Put down a towel. I'm just going to buy this dude new sheets, and we're going to be like, I don't want to wake up in the middle of the night and do that. So she is not the asshole right away for doing that. Like, good for you for going the extra step. Because, I mean, maybe, like, he had an emotional attachment to these sheets, and you're like, oh, I really don't want to ruin them. Like, good for her. But I do think that sometimes men don't really understand periods to this extent, right? Because you would never know. Like, you know, women climb mountains and work and go on marathons and, you know, live every day, you know, with their period. When you're interacting with people throughout the day, at least one of those women is going to be on her period, right? And you'll never know, right? So you're not going to fuck up this dude's hot tub. Like, that's so unrealistic and irrational. And I hope that this brother-in-law is going to go tell his girlfriend about this story, and his girlfriend's going to be like, you're an idiot. Like, what are you talking about? Like, the first time we went in your hot tub, I had my period, and he'll be like, what? Like, I really hope that happens, right? That would be freaking absolute gold. But anywho, you are not the asshole. You can do anything you want on your period, like, as long as you're not, like, free balling without a tampon and bleeding all over everyone's stuff, you're fine. I actually have my first day on my period's really heavy, and then it's so light that I don't even wear a tampon for, like, the third and fourth day because it's so light. I'll just wear, like, a liner because, you know, and it depends on your period. Wow, could I say period any more times, or blood? Okay, let's see what the comments are. This is fun. Not the asshole. The brother-in-law is such a horrific misogynist. I don't know if misogynist is the right word. I think he's just, because a misogynist is like that you think men are like better than women. This doesn't mean that he thinks he's better than. He just doesn't understand. It's like, have you ever seen those videos of people finding out that women have like 3 holes, like your urethra and then your vagina and then your anus? Like, I didn't know I had 3 holes until I was like 12, right? Like, they're like, oh, you pee out of the same place you get your period. Like, some people just don't, and I mean, blame the education system, truly, because some people just don't, and I was educated, you know, I don't remember them being like, there are 3, I don't remember at all, so. So funny. What a funny conversation, guys. This is why I have such a good time. Excuse my yawn. Okay. Brother-in-law is such a horrific misogynist. I'm only a trans woman, so I can't claim to understand fully what it's like to be on your period, but what I do know is that it is out of your control, and the stuff that was in your control, like cleaning, was done up correctly. If you left it stained, I can understand him getting angry, but you cleaned up, and honestly, I think that if you had it in the hot tub, it would have been much easier to clean. That's not true. This also proves that trans women don't understand periods too, right? Because they're biological men. Don't get me wrong, love me a trans woman. One of my really good friends is a trans woman. I'm totally not trans. You do you. Love that. But you don't understand what our periods are like, okay? So funny. She's like, if you left it stained, if you had it in the hot tub, it would have been much easier to clean. No, it wouldn't. It would be in the water and it would be everywhere. Absolutely not. Thank God you had it in the bed. So interesting. Someone wrote, honestly, even if it did get stained, it's still an accident. If I cut my finger and bled on a couch cushion, I'd try to clean it up, but I'd be pretty pissed if my host was angry about it. I'm a person. I bleed. We all do. Menstrual blood isn't somehow transmuted into sin via proximity to the vagina. God, that's so true. That's getting a little upvote from me. Good job. Someone said about the trans woman. Only a trans woman? You're a woman who just happens to not have experienced periods. Nothing only about it. Women with what sounds like much more convenient plumbing. That's funny. What's an AFAB woman? I am a female AFAB, AFAB woman. And would very much like a female at birth, probably. And would very much like my malfunctioning plumbing removed. That's so funny. Yeah, it's tough, right? My trans friend like went through bottom surgery, and what she had to do, like, healing, like, fucking kudos to you. That is rough. So, alrighty, I think I am ready. I am ready to dub this person, not the asshole. Do you like my little on-air thing? I keep pointing it out every time. And look, my kitty, this is Bast. And then this is Lara. This is Ian's game mat for when we play board games. And they Love it. Poor guy. They go all over it and scratch it up, and he's very sad. Okay. Okay, let's try this one. No, I don't like that one. Let's try another one. This is interesting. Do you know what? I'm going to be so divisive on some of these guys. Okay, am I the asshole for telling my niece that not everyone is religious? I went to dinner at a family member's house. My niece was there and said that we need to pray before we eat. I told her that not everyone prays. So she said her mom told her that if you don't pray, you're going to hell. I said I don't believe in any of that, and that other people have different beliefs. It's okay to believe in something, but it's not okay to try to force it on other people. And now her mom is mad at me that I told her that. Am I the asshole? Edit. I just got finished with work and this really blew up. We were at one of my cousin's houses, not at her mom's house. She's 6 years old, but according to previous talks with her mother, she has a great fear and love for Jesus. Still makes me cringe. I did not force my views on her. I simply told her that there are other beliefs out there. I agree that if someone doesn't believe in what we do equals eternity in hell is a terrible thing to teach a kid. Thanks everyone for their opinions, but there is no way I can get to all of the comments. So interesting. Okay, let's dissect. I think her age is an important factor here. I think that you had every right to say that not everyone is religious. I think you had every right to say that it's okay to believe in something but not try to force it on other people. I think you're not the asshole. But I also think that it would have been kind to say all your things and then look at this cute little 6-year-old and say, but if you want to pray, you go ahead and pray. Go ahead and pray. I think that you cannot tell people how to parent. I think that that parent sharing their religion with their child is their choice. I am very spiritual, very much so. I believe in God. I do not believe that there is a hell. I do not believe that gay people go to hell. I do not believe in a lot of things that are a subtopic of religions. But I believe that there is power in Jesus' name. I believe that I can manifest with God. I believe that I'm not alone. I believe that I have, a power inside of me and an energy that I got from source energy, So I think that there is an absolute beauty to religion. I think that it's sad to make a 6-year-old think that people will end up as an eternity in hell. And I think that's not the way to talk to a 6-year-old anyways about religion. If you're Christian or Catholic and you want to share your religion with your child, I think starting with hell is probably not a good idea. I think you start with hope and beauty and love and grace and serenity and all of the love things about religion. You don't start with hell. You don't start with stoning people on the cross. Like you don't start with that. And it's sad that this young child has to come into a religion with, quote, checks notes, a great fear and love for Jesus. A great fear. I don't think you need to be afraid of Jesus. I don't think you need to be afraid of God. I think that God is there with you and your friend. I think there is nothing to fear. It has given me nothing but hope in my life. I've never once feared a wrath of a deity. And I hope that that is what people get from religion, that is what people get from spirituality, not fear and judgment, because I don't think that is the type of God that exists. Humans are fallible. And we make mistakes all the time, and we have hundreds of religions. What makes you think we got it right with all of that? Because a bunch of people wrote stories in a book and passed it down for generations and generations. No, I think that there's, like Gandhi said, all religions are true, because there's this vein of truth in all religions, because there is something greater than us. We just don't know. We just don't have it completely right. no religion got it bang on with what it is. I'm humble enough to know that I don't know everything, but I know that God is not full of malice, and to teach a 6-year-old that he is makes me sad. So, no, you are not the asshole! But let's see these comments, because I bet they're spicy. I bet they're spicy. Of course, someone who threatens someone with hell is going to be angry with you for saying that it doesn't exist. This awful parent has no other way to control her child. And yes, the child deserves to know about reality, not the asshole. Having said that, it's important that you tread lightly here so that you can keep being a good influence in this kid's life. If you get kicked out of her life, you can't do that. You know what, I'm not even going to read these comments because a lot of them are just very, like, they're about the bad parts of church and people who just had really bad experiences with church and with religion and pastors and stuff. I think that not everyone is all good and not everyone is all bad. Everyone has facets of good and bad inside of them. There's this old Aboriginal story about a man who has 2 wolves inside of him, a good wolf and a bad wolf. And they're fighting all the time inside of him. And this older man is telling this kid this story, and the kid says, well, who wins inside of this man, the good wolf or the bad wolf? And he says, the one that you feed wins. And I think that says so much about the more good you do, the more good you try to be, the good wolf will win. The more you give in to the sin, the more you give in to the negative, the more you give in to the abuse, the bad wolf will win. So not everyone is all good and all bad. And I think that there are a lot of amazing, beautiful Christians, and there are a lot of not good Christians, as with every other religion and every other human being in the world and sect of people. So let's all just try to be a better person, shall we? And that's enough of that one. Close. Moving right along. This one says weddings. I'm going to read it because I love weddings and I love Not the Asshole, and I love when we put those two together. So, am I the asshole for ruining a proposal at a wedding? Should I read this in an accent? Which accent should I do? How about we try Southern today? All right. Sorry for the bad grammar and format. I'm doing this on a phone. So I, 27 male, am a part-time DJ. I mostly DJ for just family and friends. I'm not really a professional. I just do it for a little side cash from time to time. Last weekend, I got invited to DJ on the cheap at a wedding for a friend of mine. At the wedding, while everyone was on the dance floor, one of the guests, we'll call him Kevin, approached me and asked if I could play the song Golden Hour. It was an odd request because at this time all the guests were literally hopping around and dancing, but I was told to take all requests, so I did it anyways. When I started playing it, the dance floor started to clear up a bit, and then Kevin invited a woman onto the dance floor, and they started slow dancing for a bit. A few people joined them, including the bride and groom. Then, at that one part of the song, Kevin got down on one knee, and I knew right away that he was going to propose. I didn't think that it was right, especially because they were in the middle of the dance floor with all eyes on them, and it kind of felt like if this happened, I would take the fault because I was the one who put on a romantic song out of nowhere. So instead of letting that happen, as soon as he pulled out the box, I started to play Boogie and turned the volume up instead. After that, Kevin just side-eyed me and got up, and everyone else sat down. After that, nothing else really happened, and the tension was very thick. After the wedding, no one really brought it up, and I obviously thought that I wasn't the asshole and that the friend that was the friends with the bride said that I wasn't. But then a bunch of the family started to message me, and turns out that Kevin was the bride's brother, and the family kept asking why I did that. I told them that proposing at someone else's wedding was not appropriate. They told me that I shouldn't have that opinion because I was just the DJ, and now Kevin got publicly humiliated because some friends knew that this was going to happen, and so they were taking videos and live on Instagram so all their friends could see. I responded with, that would have made the newlyweds hurt. But then they came back with, you shouldn't have assumed that the bride didn't want that. That part got me thinking because I was mostly communicating with the bride about arrangements, and she was very chatty before the wedding, but after that she kept giving me just like one word answers. So I assumed that she is mad at me. But then again, when she paid me, she almost doubled the amount for what I was asking with a generous tip. So I'm not sure if the bride actually knew. I think she would have told me. But am I the asshole for just assuming? Edit. A lot of people said to ask the bride and groom. I did, but like I said, their answers were vague. The bride said that it was fine, but it was probably just to spare my feelings. I didn't want to push because she clearly had a lot on her mind at the moment. Am I the asshole? So, was it super annoying hearing me do that with an accent, or did you love it? Did you secretly love it? Maybe I'll just do that from now on. I think that this is a tough situation for someone to be in. Personally, I do not think you should ever propose to someone at someone else's wedding. I think it is tacky. I think it steals people's thunder. I think it is not I personally, I would not want that at all. It is just not my cup of tea. It's not the vibe I want to be in. I'm happy to be there celebrating someone else's wedding. I want my own day. I don't want it to be on someone else's. Personally, I think that's not the thing. But this guy had a split-second moment to make this decision. He was watching this go down, and in a split second, he made a decision. And you know what? I probably would have made the same decision. Because I'm like, whoa, what's going on? This is trouble. This is trouble. I'm just going to stop it right now. He didn't have a moment to think, to process. If he had a moment, he might have made a different decision, but he didn't. I think that the bride would have told him if she knew that someone was getting proposed to at her wedding and it was going to happen on the dance floor, she would have told the DJ. She would have been like, hey, just so you know, like, they're going to play the song. He's going to propose. Like, I think she would have 100% told him, but that didn't happen. OP said that he asked the bride, but their answers were vague, which is, my guess is that she didn't like it, knew that it was going to happen anyways, but didn't want to didn't want to hurt this guy's feelings. I think she was happy that he did that, but didn't want to be like, thanks for doing that, buddy, because they're all in the same group of friends. So then she'll look like the bad guy. So she's letting OP look like the bad guy by being vague, So I dub this man not the asshole. But let's see what the comments have to say. If the bride knew this was going to happen and approved it, she should have told you beforehand. You're not the asshole. Your heart was in the right place. You were protecting the bride and the groom's day. I agree. Someone else says, yeah, maybe hindsight's 20/20 here, but if I'm the guy proposing, I'm making sure that every important person, like the DJ, is in the know. Make sure one of the bride or the groom tells him that it's chill. If the guy uses their wedding as the spot to propose, honestly, I'd want both the bride and the groom to tell the DJ together that it's okay. Maybe I'm just overanalyzing, but I'd be playing out every possible scenario of things that could ruin the proposal before actually doing it and making sure that those things are figured out. And if I can't shore it all up, then I'm not proposing. Smart man. Smart man. Someone wrote, I agree 100%. If I'm the DJ, ain't no chance I'm honoring a request like that without getting verbal face-to-face approval from the bride and groom. Also, I'd want a third-party witness there to verify. Probably one of the venues. Proposing at someone else's wedding is tacky as fuck. I agree. Someone else wrote, it's also super lazy. I'm not a woman who would expect a proposal on an island somewhere or after some super elaborate thing. But a wedding is literally only a romantic environment because someone else planned it. Someone else paid for the entire thing. It would be one thing if it was a destination wedding and someone proposed over the weekend with the couple's consent, but to propose on the dance floor right next to the newlyweds? Absolutely not. I honestly wonder if the bride wasn't cool with it, but is being brief with the OP because her family gave her shit, even though she's secretly relieved. I would be. That's what I think. 100%. She's relieved. She doesn't want to take the blame. She doesn't want to be the bad guy. The fact that she paid OP so well, she's secretly grateful. Someone else says, perhaps she did know about it, but she was guilt-tripped into saying yes by her family, and then OP comes along and fucks that up for the selfish people. This was my thought too. She was likely forced by her family to accept this was happening and be discreet about her absolute joy that he killed the proposal, which is why she gave him one-word answers after the wedding. My brand new lip gloss is just exploding everywhere. This is the Kosas wet lip oil, and it has fucking, I don't know what happened, but it has literally exploded all over the gosh darn place. I'm gonna have to take it back. I think it's broken. Yeah, it looks like cracked. Yeah. You're going back. You're going back. Sorry, Kosas. I can't have you cracking all over my lips. It's pretty though, right? Very nice, very nice, very nice. Okay, moving all along. We are gonna do one more, guys, because this is running at like 40 minutes right now. Okay. Do you know where that's from? Come on, guys. 3, 2, 1. Ace Ventura. I got it. Such a dork. I got it, even though I was the one who said it. Okay, this is going to be a good one. Am I the asshole for giving my mom the wrong start time for my birthday lunch so that she'd be on time? Okay, guys, we're going to do another accent with this. Comment below if I annoy the absolute garbage out of you. We are going to do New York coffee khakis. Okay. My 22 female mom, mid-40s females, one of those people who is always late to everything. I'm talking family get-togethers, birthdays, graduations, weddings, you name it. She's showing up late. At first, growing up, I just thought it was because she was bad with time, but as I've gotten older, I genuinely believe that she likes making an entrance. I personally find it 1, rude, and 2, embarrassing, because it's not like it happens once in a while. It literally happens every single function that she's invited to that has a set time. Many family members have complained about this. Nothing ever changes. It's gotten to the point when ever my grandmother has family lunches or dinners, she tells my mom it starts an hour earlier than it actually does, so she'll be there on time. My mom doesn't know that my grandma does this. It's a joke between my grandma and I. This past weekend was my 22nd birthday. My grandma wanted to do a lunch for me at her place with our immediate family. The lunch was to start at 2, but we told my mom 1. I had plans later that evening to go out for dinner with my boyfriend, so I wanted to leave my grandma's house at around 5, the absolute latest, because I needed to go home and get all ready. Well, of course, my mom was late. We called her at like 2:30 to see where she was because, you know, it's her daughter's birthday. She had just left her house at 2:30 p.m. and still had to pick up her boyfriend on her way to my grandma's, which is 35 minutes away. So none of us were expecting her to arrive until like 3:30 p.m. So she finally arrives 2.5 hours late from the time that we told her. Makes her little entrance. We question her about it, and she tells us that she thought the lunch started at 2. We asked her where she heard this, and she said from my aunt, who was present at the lunch. She told her. We questioned her, my aunt, and she said she felt bad for lying to my mom. Everyone is pretty annoyed, but we all move on. Fast forward to an hour later, 4:30, and I have to start leaving. My mom starts getting all annoyed that I'm leaving so soon, and that she barely got to see me for my birthday. I told her that my life doesn't revolve around her and that she should have been there sooner. So she started giving me attitude and listing all these excuses as to why she's late. I couldn't be bothered to hear them, and I left. Later that night, she messaged me saying that I was acting like an asshole towards her and that I was rude of me to lie to her about the time that the lunch started. My mom and my aunt, do you know what's funny? I'm going to stop for 1 second here, is that I say aunt because I'm Canadian. But if I was from New York, I would say aunt. My mom and my aunt think that I'm an asshole for lying to her. My grandma doesn't think it's a big deal and they're overreacting. I came here for some opinions. God, I love doing the freaking New York accent. It's so much fun. Okay, this woman is absolutely not the asshole. Absolutely not the asshole. Do you know who is the asshole? Her mom. That's awful. Can you imagine This woman's 22, OP, and she's lived her 22 years with her mom being late to everything. So one of my best friends, her mom is also late to everything. She was late to her wedding. We're all ready, pretty, and her mom rolls in super late, no, not dressed, no makeup done, like tra la la la, and we're like, what are you doing? Get your ass in gear. Like, that's just so rude. Oh, nothing annoys me more than being late to stuff. Honestly, that's probably a lie. There's probably lots that annoys me more than being late to stuff. But I hate being late. I think it's so rude. I think it's so rude. And it's a constant, like, battle between me and my boyfriend, because my boyfriend's very, like, tra la 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 la, like, oh yeah, it'll take me 20 minutes to get ready. And I'm like, babe, absolutely not. It takes you 40 minutes to get ready. Like, let's go. Let's go. So we're, like, constantly 10 minutes late to shit, which, I mean, he's the perfect man, other than that and the cleanliness. But I will take those any day because he is the perfect person for me. I just got lost in my own love. He's the best. He's the best thing that's ever happened to me, guys, honestly. Anywho, I would absolutely be so sad if my mom was late to everything. And, like, then she got mad at you. I would probably flip shit. I've realized as I've gotten older and as I talk to my friends about their difficulties and I'm giving their advice, that I'm super blunt. I'm so blunt and I'm so confrontational. I would be like, are you kidding me right now? You have absolutely no leg to stand on. You're telling me that you're 2.5 hours late and you're getting mad at me for not spending time with you on my birthday? You're 2.5 hours late. I'm absolutely sick of this. I'm going to stop inviting you places. That's that. Sorry. Like, that's what I would do. I would be cutthroat. Cutthroat. Okay, so let's see the top. Oh, there's like a little star thing on the top comment. It's like, little star. Not the asshole, but stop lying to her. Stop accommodating her. Don't hold up events. Don't hold up dinner or lunch or anything. If she arrives to a meal or a function and it's over and the food is either gone or put away, then it's, oh well, should have been there on time. I would never hold up one more thing for her. She's rude and has no respect for other people's time. Hear ye, hear ye. I agree. You are getting an upvote from me. Satellite Beach 123. This, stop holding up your light for her. Start and end events on time and as scheduled. Keep reminding her that she knows when things start, and if she misses out, that's on her. She needs to face consequences for her actions. Also, stop asking why she's late. She likes the attention. Ignore her when she's late. Don't give her more attention. Let things start and end on time. Someone else wrote, we had a family friend that used to arrive late to every lunch until we started eating without her and let her eat alone. It happened 2 times, and by the 3rd time, she started to arrive on time. Another person said, my grandmother did this until she came late enough where we were all done with eating and the food was put away. My mom said the food is in the fridge. Heat it up yourself. She ate alone and no one sat with her. She was never late again. Right? Seriously. Someone said, I think that this is the trick, that what made it work was that no one prepared food with her and no one sat down with her. Someone else wrote, planning holidays with my in-laws is like this. They don't respect that I have a family too. A few years ago for Christmas, I told them that we'd be there at 9 a.m. for breakfast, but I had to leave by 11 to make it to lunch with my family. We got there at 9 a.m. sharp. The lights were still out. My husband had to go in and wake everyone up. 11 a.m. rolled around. We were just sitting down to breakfast and hadn't even exchanged gifts yet. My husband looked at the clock and said, shit, we gotta go. Cleaned up our plates and we left. Now when we tell them we have other places to be, they respect it. That's great. Yeah, that's so important. Someone else wrote, I once attended regularly a church who had to deal with those families. The ones who, when the service started at 11, would show up fashionably late at 11:20. The response? They locked all the doors, leaving access only via the side seating area or the balcony upstairs. No more parading down the center aisle with all turning to look. Let mom come in through the back door if she can't show up, or just block her from coming in if she isn't there by a certain time, and have a to-go plate. So I have deemed this person not the asshole. Okay, I lied. We are 100% doing one more. 100%. I don't know what that was, guys. Couldn't tell, but look at my cats. They must love my singing voice. Okay, this one. Am I the asshole for telling my sister her 4 kids are her +1? I'm 30 male in the midst of planning a wedding and deciding everything regarding the guest list. We have a hard cap of people allowed given the venue's small size. Hard cap. Hard cap. We can only have 105 people. That's still a lot of people. When I got married, there was like 50 people, maybe less, like 45. Although one person showed up to my wedding with a +1 that I did not know was coming. Look at these guys. They're gonna fight. They're gonna scrap. Such funny scrappers. Yeah, can you believe that? I was like, okay, if you want a +1. This was on the invitation. Okay, if you want a +1, just let me know and we can make it work. No knowledge of said +1. Just showed up with this person. Craziness. Okay. We can only have 105 people. Anything after that would not be allowed due to fire codes and venue policy. I have an older sister, Mia, whose life is a bit of a mess right now. She and her latest ex-partner and dad of one of her kids broke up in the last 6 months. She has 4 kids and they are all living at my parents' house for the time being. That would suck. This is a reason I don't want kids. Another reason. There's a lot of reasons I do want kids. We were watching the Orville today and there was the cutest kid. And I was like, this is the reason I want kids. But one of the reasons I don't want kids is that when my kids grow up and have kids of their own and want to move back in with me with their 4 children, no, thank you. I did my job. Bye. We opted to not have a child-free wedding there after there had been so much drama about it. So Mia's 4 kids between 4 and 11 will be at our wedding. So what I'm seeing here is that they originally wanted to have a child-free wedding, but there was so much drama about his sister's 4 kids being allowed, so they went, fine, you can bring your children. She recently got her invite and stated that her name and her 4 kids' names. And then she called me and said, I assume as an adult I also get a +1. We told her no, she's not in a serious relationship and she and her kids are already about 5% of our total guest list. Our caterer also doesn't charge less for kids, so we're paying about $400 for those 4 kids to be there. And we don't want to pay another $100 for some random that she'd bring. She's not dating anyone, but said that she could easily find a date or bring a friend to have someone to dance with. We told her that she has 4 kids there. That should be more than enough instead of having a +1. My dad is on my side and is tired of her taking up their house. Oh, what did I just hear? I think I just heard exactly what I just said. The dad is tired of his daughter and her 4 kids being in his house. See, he was like, I'm done. I raised you. You're raised. Bye. See you later. Have fun. My mom's a little more sympathetic, and she's saying that I should allow her to have a +1 because that's what you do for adults. I disagree. Spending $600 on just my sister and her kids and a date that she's not seeing when she's not seeing anyone seriously just seems ridiculous to me. She's pretty ticked off, though. Am I being the asshole here? Absolutely not. Absolutely not, you aren't. Not the asshole. Because this person is so freaking entitled and selfish. This woman has 4 children that she obviously got into this wedding to begin with. She's not in a serious relationship, and she's being like, yeah, well, I can find a date. And someone is like, yeah, I'm sure you could. Great, good for you. This isn't about you. This is our wedding. We already made these allowances for your children, and I'm not going to do it again. Absolutely not the asshole. Some people's kids. Can't believe it. Okay, let's Let's see what all these people say. Not the asshole. It's your wedding, your money. If she wants to bring a +1, let her pay the $100. Not only the money, but like if you know, there are people who want 300 people at their wedding, right? This is taking up, you don't know this person. This is taking up like a valid other person. You know, what if, you know, your wife, your fiance wants to invite her Aunt Muriel and she can't because random number 5 is coming with your sister, you know? She's broken. I'm not expecting to get a gift from her. Oh, this is OP writing back. She's broken. I'm not expecting to even get a gift from her. She didn't get a gift from my other sibling last year because money was too tight. I honestly don't care about the gift thing, but I'm already paying roughly $500 for her and her family, and an extra $100 just feels unreasonable, given she's already bringing 4 extra guests. My partner and I are paying for the entire wedding ourselves. Here. I love when OPs comment back. That's great. And someone replied to that and wrote that that's your answer. No means no, and you shouldn't have to justify it to anyone. If it's your wedding, your money, don't let anyone bully you into doing something you don't want to do. Your sister will be fine without a +1. Here. Someone else says, or tell her that she can have a +1 if she leaves one of her kids at home. Your guest list is at the max, and there isn't any room for, or any money for anyone else. People are crazy pants. Someone wrote, sometimes no is a perfectly fine, complete sentence. Also, what does she plan on doing with her kids if she wants to spend the night with some random? Is she expecting your parents to watch her kids? In which case, I would be telling her to stuff it. Agree. Someone else wrote, she's broke and yet has 4 kids. Another example of the mathematical certainty that the less you have to offer a child, the more fertile you'll be. Oh, shots fired. Oof. That opens up another divisive round of topics for us here. Birth control. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. They just made birth control free. Free birth control for all. How amazing is that? Absolutely fantastic. I love it. Amazing. If now they could only do it everywhere. You know, I think that's so important. I think free, if you don't want people to have abortions, then you need to make birth control free, first and foremost. Like, you can't just take away a women's right to get abortions and then, like, expect people to just not have sex. Like, before you take away people's right to get an abortions, make birth control free. And, like, maybe make it harder for people to get child, what is it called? You know when people get money for their children from the government? You know, maybe if that was, I am talking out of my ass here, guys. I don't know what I'm talking about at all when it comes to that. Oh man, we could just, but it's just sad that, like, I think a lot of people in poverty get stuck with a lot of children, and, like, obviously like the dad's not in the picture, and it said it was the dad of one of the kids, so, like, where are the other dads? Like, that's super sad. And how do we stop, like, systemic poverty like that? Because a lot of that comes statistically from there not being a father in the home, in the child's life. So let's get those dads back. Let's get some free birth control going, and we can all do this together, guys. And let's not be assholes about our brothers' weddings. Amazing. Thank you so very much for joining me today, guys. I had so much fun with you. And be well.